The Girls Club, 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 The Girls Club. It's my club and I'm a girl, yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to the Girls Club. I'm your president, Emily, and today I'm recording this podcast on Wednesday, November 6th, 2024 at 7:26 p.m. I'm also, for the video friends on Facebook, what the fuck? Girl, what the fuck? If y'all hoes are watching this shit on Facebook, how? Like, literally how? For the video friends on the YouTube, I'm in a new location. This is the downstairs of my house in a little corner in my living room. And I thought that I would podcast down here today because I think we're all feeling a little bit uneased. I think we're all feeling a little bit hopeless and in need of something warm and cozy with all this horrible shit happening right now. So I'm podcasting from my living room, and I'm by my Christmas tree that I put up over the weekend very prematurely because I was having anxiety and a bit of depression about, the upcoming election, which is now in the past. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I was not feeling like doing this today. I just got done working 30 minutes ago. I've been so distracted all day. It took me probably 10 and a half hours to get what I needed to get done at work today because I felt so out of it because of everything that's going on. If you're not an American listener, which I know there's a few of you, we just had our presidential election, as I'm sure you're aware, and the candidate that I believe everybody who watches this show, I genuinely believe that. I believe that everybody that watches this show wanted to win, did not. And the candidate that we were all terrified to win won. The Electoral College vote is still technically not in. It's the popular vote right now, so we shall see. But I don't think it's going to be any different. And I think this is what we're locked into for the next 4 years. But like I was saying, I wasn't feeling like recording. I don't feel good. I don't feel happy. I feel fucking pissed off. I've been like angry crying all day, like on and off, just thinking about shit. But then I thought, you know what? If I was a woman who listened to this show for something to escape my reality, for a sense of comfort, for the sound of someone's voice in the background as I, drive my car or clean my kitchen or, I disassociate while I'm working, I would be disappointed if that person wasn't there for me during this time that I really needed it. So here I am. And I just want everybody to know that I love you guys so, so, so much. I'm angry with you. I'm sad with you. I'm confused with you. I'm disappointed with you. I'm disgusted. And I am here if you need somebody to talk to, somebody to vent to, if you are a member of a family that doesn't support your political beliefs and isn't validating your own experience of loss during all of this. I'm here if you need somebody to vent to about it. The club is here as well. There's so many of you guys who reach out to me, on the regular basis, who are just so kind and so supportive of me and what I do. And I know that if there was a way to connect you all, you could be there for each other as well and create a community. Because that's my goal with all this, right? Is I want to create some sense of community out of all this. And especially at a time right now where the world is showing us that they do not care about women. The country has shown us today that women's rights, that LGBTQ rights, that trans rights, that Black Americans' rights do not matter. The world has shown us today that you can go to the police if you're sexually assaulted. You can file a report. You can do what you are supposed to do. You can subjugate yourself to a rape kit that is going to traumatize you and all of these things because it's what you're told to do. Because if you do this, then you get the bad guy and he goes away and you are safe now. And the world has shown us today that your assaulter could become the president of the United States of America even after he's caught for what he did. I don't want to fearmonger. I don't want to make people more upset than they already are, but I do want people to know the realities that we're in right now. Because I know you all know this, but if you're in a relationship with a man who doesn't understand, if your parents don't get it, if your friends are not lined up with you in your political views, it's no longer political. This is about human equality of life. So I would encourage you to set some boundaries in your life, to separate yourself from those people not supporting you, not hearing you out, not listening to your fears or your anxieties around all of this, because it is proof with the way that they elected that they care more about money than your own life. Whew. Let me hop off my soapbox. Here's the thing. I was disgusted with the number of white women who voted for Donald Trump and not Kamala Harris. I was disgusted with that because you feel like you have nothing to lose because you are so secure in your whiteness and your association with white male privilege that you think none of this will affect you. And you're wrong. You are wrong. Because at the end of the day, you know, when you can't have that baby that you always wanted and you got to go use IVF, well, guess what? According to Project 2025, that's not going to happen. That's not how God intended it. If you are pregnant and you fall or something tragic happens, well, I guess we'll wait until you're about to die before we can do anything about it. Or, worst case scenario, until you're dead. Because you thought that your proximity to white male privilege would keep you from those consequences. But unfortunately, babe, it won't. It won't. And I know you all know this, and I'm not talking to you, but if you got to show this to your fucking, pardon my language, because this will probably turn them off, to your grandma, to your mom, to your sister, to your best friend, to your cousin, to whatever, to let them fucking hear this. Let it click. Let it sink in. Because we have to be pissed, y'all. It wasn't enough that our rights got taken away when Roe v. Wade was overturned. It wasn't enough. I'm terrified for my friends who are pregnant right now. I'm hoping, and I don't believe in God, but I'm manifesting healthy births and everything, but it just sucks you have to even think that way. I'm thinking about my nieces. My oldest niece is in kindergarten. I'm thinking about her future. I'm thinking about 4 years from now. Are they going to get rid of public education? Are they going to take all of the books out of their libraries that teach them the realities of the world? Are they going to be indoctrinated into this evangelical Christian religion and have to recite the Bible every day? I don't want that for them. I don't want them to grow up in this weird hazed over education that doesn't give them the tools that they need to be true, functioning, independent women. And lucky for them, they have a badass mom who's one of the most educated women I know, who's one of the smartest women I know, and who's one of the most empathetic women I know. So I know for damn sure if they're at school learning some bullshit, she'll make sure that when they come home, they learn what else they need to learn and make up for the gaps. But you shouldn't have to. Once again, the burden is back on the woman. And I'm tired. This election, for me, solidified that in the next 4 years at least, at the very least, I will not get pregnant. I will not get in an intimate relationship with someone. Because I don't trust men. How could I trust men? How could I trust men when I can't even trust women to give a fuck about themselves? How the fuck can I trust men to care about us? Because they don't. Because they don't. My heart breaks for all of these people who are part of these communities that this party wants to get rid of. They want to act like they don't exist. They want to go back in time to the days before gay people were allowed to just fucking exist. They want to trap you in marriages. They want to take away your right to vote as a woman. And I'm scared as shit. I'm scared as shit. It's not economical to leave the country. My family's here. My whole family is here. I can't leave. And I'm sure you all feel the same. We can't just leave. That's not a solution. I'm terrified for all of the immigrants who live here. You know how many people I know who are not American citizens, who are here on visas to work, to go to school, who married American citizens? And you might think, well, then they're here. Not according to what they want to do. And this is the reason why it pisses me off that people just didn't take the time to read the policies. They were so loud about Project 2025, and I know Donald Trump has denied it in his association to it 1,000,000 times over, but I promise you this. He is a puppet to all of these people. He's a yes man, he's a sore fucking loser, and he hates women. He will do whatever he has to do. And I hope that it doesn't happen. I really do. I really hope it doesn't. You know, I saw one of my friend's moms. This shit pissed me the fuck off. It made me sick to my stomach. I saw one of my friend's moms post about how happy she was that Donald Trump got elected. She has 2 daughters. You know? I just don't get it. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. Today was crazy. Just going back to work. I'm sure all of you felt that as well. Just waking up and going back to work. Like nothing happened. Nobody's talking about it. You know? I manage one person under me. And I sent her a message today and I was like, look, do what you got to do. If you want to take off today, take off. We have unlimited PTO, girl. Like, if you need today off, take today off. Unfortunately, my procrastination ass put off a video project, a little too far, and I had to work all fucking day today. So distracted. Not enough Adderall in the world could have saved me from that. Oh my God. I had to take a shower in the middle of the day because I was zoning out so hard, spiraling. And I got in the shower and I listened to NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys to try to feel something. And I just started crying because I was just thinking how they're men. And it made me sad. It's like men literally ruin everything. And yeah, so I don't know if you guys have looked in at all to the 4B movement. It's something that was started, I believe, in South Korea. And essentially it is a protest that women are taking in South Korea against the men in that country because of SA and domestic abuse and the horrible ways that they've been treated for all of time. And essentially it is, you just stop dating men, you stop fucking men, you stop talking to men, you just remove them from your life. And it is taking a toll on the South Korean economy, on the South Korean birth rate. The birth rate is plummeting in South Korea. And it's proof that it's working because the government is freaking out, And the past 2 years, I've really, really taken a step back from dating. I haven't dated. I haven't had sex with men or women, but I'm straight, so unfortunately, it's just men who are on the table for me. And I haven't had sex with men, and my life has been good. I don't regret it. I'm not worried about getting pregnant. I don't have to take birth control. I don't have to, play these fucking games. I get to live my life for myself. I feel like I have confidence in my body at all stages, even when I don't, look as lean as I did or as muscular as I did or whatever the fuck. I stopped caring, I started dressing cool in my own eyes. I just do what I want in the absence of man, and it is so fucking nice. And I would encourage you to do the same. If you're in a relationship, I would really make sure that the person that you are dating is on the same page as you when it comes to your body, what you want for your future. Do you want kids? And that's a decision that is 100% your own to make, as it should be. But I would just say it is a scary, scary time right now, especially if you are in a state that has these Trump abortion bans, to just be so, so, so safe and be so careful. And don't tell people when you're pregnant. If you are in one of those states, don't tell people because, they could have to tell the police. It's crazy, you guys. I feel like this isn't real. It doesn't feel real. And then we have Thanksgiving in 2 weeks, and what? We're supposed to go home to our families and just be thankful? For what? Literally for what? I feel like we were finally at a point too where I was feeling a sense of pride for America that I have never felt. I have never felt pride for this country. And then Kamala came up, and you don't have to agree with all of her policies, but it was like a beacon of light. It was different than Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton had skeletons in her closet. She was married to a former president who had been impeached. She had ties to just some not so great people. But Kamala was so different. She was so and is so experienced. She has over 34 years of experience across all 3 branches of government. She has no kids, but she's a stepmom. And she's 60 years old, which means she's not going to be able to have kids biologically. And something about that was just so fucking cool to see a woman who put her career fucking first and found the love of her life later in life, and it ended up working out. It was so much hope for women, for Black women, for mixed women, for women who were children of immigrants. It was like the most picturesque, beautiful story. She checked all the boxes, and she still wasn't enough. And that is why I'm crushed. Because if she couldn't do it, who can? Who is America going to let do it? Who has a vagina? No one. I'm disappointed in Gen Z because I really thought it was going to be enough. And I really thought as a whole we were a woke generation. And then I had to remember that half of Gen Z are red pill, male, fucking losers. Half of Gen Z are dumbass men who are so lonely and have no sense of community because they've never tried to. They have shallow friendships. They have no hobbies. They have no passions. And what did they find? They found a sense of community within the hate. They hopped on the bandwagon of fucking Aiden Ross and Bryce Hall and Logan Paul and all of these people that they aspired to be like, that in a million years they're not going to come close to. People who would spit at their faces if they were in their way. And I'm disappointed in Joe Rogan. Fuck you, Joe Rogan. Fuck you. For months you talked about how big of an idiot Trump was. For months you talked about how bad his economic policy would be. You talked about how you don't agree with his hateful rhetoric in Project 2025. And then the night before, the biggest day in American history, you endorse him? How big of a check did he cut you? I don't get it. I don't understand. You have the biggest podcast in America. You probably are one of the wealthiest people in America. And your vote was bought by a man that you have spent months berating, making fun of, and disagreeing with. You have him on your podcast. You don't push back a ton, but you still don't agree with what he says for the most part. And to me, that looked like an endorsement for Kamala Harris. And then the night before the fucking election, you say you endorse President Trump? You're spineless. You're a loser. You're a fucking cuck. And you fuel hate when you do things like that. You know your audience is a bunch of impressionable, uneducated white men who belong to nothing, who have no sense of community, who have never once tried to be something greater than who they perceive themselves to be. They speak lowly of themselves. They don't have this feeling of self because they've never had to overcome anything in their lives. And yet they want to be the victim so fucking bad. And you took their soft fucking brains and you spoon-fed them the candidate to fucking vote for. Shame on you. Shame on you. I don't want to talk about this the whole time. I really don't. But I feel like we're all angry. I feel like we've all doom scrolled so much. And I feel like we all just need a few days to be pissed off, to feel hopeless, to feel angry, to feel sad, and to be scared. And that's okay, you know? Like, fuck. It's okay to feel that way. I am a bit disappointed that Bryce Hall won't be killing himself. Oh, God. You gotta laugh about something, man. You gotta laugh about something. Let's get to some lighthearted stuff now, because this is a club meeting, and also I just want you guys to have an escape for the rest of this episode. Let's just fucking have fun club meeting. Let's have fun. Let's laugh. Let's not get too heavy anymore. I'm sorry I kicked it off like that. I'm sorry if you zoned out while I was talking and disassociated and whatever, but I needed to let that out. I've been working all day. I've had nobody to talk to about it besides my roommate this morning, but then I was just locked in, and so I haven't really been able to process anything. And as most people with a podcast, this is my therapy. Let's get into some other topics, shall we? This was never my intention to talk about either. I was going to record this episode last night, and then when I saw the election votes coming in, I was like, you know what? I better wait. I better wait because I don't want to give this hopeful ass, sentimental whatever about the first female president and how excited I am. And the episode comes out after, that happened. And I guess that was a pessimistic way to look at it, but it was realistic. And here we are. So, yep. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about another fucking terrifying thing. The resurface of Jeffree Star. I don't know if you guys watched OG Beauty YouTube back in the day with Jeffree Star, but I've talked about this before. I was like a Jeffree Star super fan. It was quite embarrassing. I would watch all of his videos, all of them. That was my favorite type of YouTube to watch, was beauty YouTube. But then I liked how Jeffree also did more vlogs and stuff too, and then it wasn't always just makeup. But anyways, he's a terrible person. He fucking sucks. He's literally one of the worst human beings ever. And so after the whole Shane Dawson documentary came out with, it was The Secret Life of Jeffree Star, whatever that documentary was, I stopped subscribing to Jeffree. I stopped, caring. And yeah, but out of nowhere, he seems to, like a fucking cockroach in a nuclear war. That bitch will not fucking die. He's like a Twinkie in an apocalypse. Somehow, it's still there. Somehow, it's fine. The whole town has been nuked. Yet, cockroach heathen Jeffree Star is still alive and well and walking among the rest of us. He's back, and he was on Tana and Brooke's podcast, canceled, which I don't listen to anymore, but I do watch a lot of drama channels on YouTube. Adam McIntyre is my favorite drama YouTuber ever. I love him so much. He's going on tour in February in America, and he's adding shows to his tour, and I'm literally praying doesn't believe in God. Bitch, no, you're not. I'm just lying. Like a liar. I'm hoping. I want to say hope to God, and then it's what? To who? I hope to... Who should I say that? Who should I say? If you don't believe in God, what do you say in these moments? Especially, when people are thoughts and prayers. I'm okay, I just say my thoughts. I'm thinking of you, because I'm I'm not praying. I don't want to lie. I'm just going to say thank my mom, because my mom is literally a queen. She's an icon. She's everything. So I'm going to say thank my mom instead of thank God. And people will be so confused. They'll be thank your who? And I'm thank my mom. She's basically I don't want to say she's a god, because that would be crazy to say. But she's the star of my life and the most important person in the world to me. So thank my mom. Thank my mom. I've been praying to my mom that that Adam adds shows and comes to Nashville. Oh my God, girl, please. You'll never see this. He'll never see this. But I really hope that he comes to Nashville so bad. I want to see his tour. It's called the Chronically Online Tour. If you guys need a drama YouTuber who is on their fucking shit, he posts almost every single day. And it's just keeping up with the tea. And I also follow Spill Sesh on TikTok and Spill the Tea with Me on TikTok because they're just iconic. Spill the Tea with Me on TikTok is like the most like on top of it drama TikTok channel or TikTok account of all time. It will be like 12 seconds that drama happens and that bitch is posted. Spill the Tea with Me, like that is journalism, babes. That is journalism. That is getting the story out. That is just like everything. That account is everything and I'm obsessed with it. But they were posting, I think it was Spill the Tea with Me is where I saw it first. They were posting, and I don't know who runs it, if it's a girl or a guy. So sorry, I just said girl. If you are not a girl, I apologize. But they've been posting stuff about Jeffree being on the canceled podcast. And I guess after the show, they were recording like a Patreon live stream where they were doing like a mukbang, Tana and Brooke, and Jeffree was there. But I guess their Patreon members were like pissed that Jeffree was there. They're like, ew, why is he there? Like, cause as you should. They're like, ew, why is Jeffree there? Nobody wanted this. Get him out. Tell him to leave. And it was coming up in the chat and Jeffree could see it. And Jeffree was being Jeffree. He has to be the fucking center of fucking attention and can't have anybody dislike him, even though everybody hates him. He does not have any old friends. This is like, not that you should have old friends, like, because I do feel that a lot of time you grow out of your friendships, like on both ends. Like you guys have different opinions, maybe you move away, maybe you don't have a ton in common. It's okay to grow out of friendships. Like a lot of friendships are very much temporary things in your life, and that's perfectly normal. You know, as you grow as a human, you will probably grow out of a lot of your friendships the same way you do with relationships, you know. But if a bitch has no one, and I mean no one in their circle that has known them for more than half a year, it's a little weird. That's a little sus. That's giving you are a bad person, and the moment that you show your true colors, people bounce. You know what I mean? And so that is Jeffree Star. You know, all of his friends are always the problem. They're always the drama. They're always the issue. It's always a war against him. He's never in the wrong. He's always the bigger person, whatever. It's total bullshit. Like, he's clearly toxic. And so Brooke and Tana were like on live and they were like, no, guys, be nice to Jeffree. We want Jeffree here. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, Tana was quite literally sucking Jeffree's dick and glazing him so hard. And I'm just like, for what, girl? You were doing him a favor by having him on your podcast. And also you and Brooke were just on the like edge of people, you know, not forgiving, but maybe moving on a bit from the racism of it all. And then you bring a fucking self-proclaimed lipstick Nazi. Yeah, that's what he called himself back in the day. The lipstick Nazi. That was his username. But it was like in a way of like, I'm not a Nazi. Like, I just use it in a way that was like, get out. Like, bitch came up with a million excuses just to be able to call himself a Nazi. It's like, girl, you're crazy. You're just racist, and that's crazy. Anyways, you bring a Nazi on your show, and then you want to deny being racist. I don't understand. You bring the OG racist dude on the show. It's not a good look. But you're also doing this guy a favor because guess what? Jeffree Star is irrelevant as fuck. No one cares about him anymore. No one cares. And he's so clearly desperate for something. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's attention. It's probably both. That he is coming back after quitting YouTube. After making this grand exit from YouTube and starting a fucking yak farm. A yak farm in Wyoming. Because I had to get out of LA. Everybody was so toxic. Influencers are so toxic. The makeup community is so toxic. Everybody's toxic. I think you're fucking toxic, Jeffree. And when you were selling yak meat, that was weird as fuck. No hate on yak meat. If y'all eat yak, if y'all be munching on some yak, no hate. But to go from being a makeup YouTuber and a makeup, maker, a makeup maker, what the fuck? Like he sold makeup, bitch. To then farming yaks to be slaughtered and butchering them in Wyoming and becoming a MAGA Republican is just so random. Also, bitch, how are you gonna be a MAGA Republican and wear a lace front, fake eyelashes, and have a BBL with fucking veneers and be a dude? Sorry. They hate you, ho. And you want to denounce pronouns? You want to say, oh, I don't believe in pronouns? You are a walking they, them. No offense. If you went into a Walmart and I didn't know who you were or what you identified as, I would not know. I would not know. So I just hate people like him. Because, like, what do you mean you don't believe in pronouns? What do you mean you agree with MAGA Republicans? You're a gay man who dresses like a woman. What? Anyways, he goes on the podcast. The Patreon's pissed off. And then he decides, because he's not getting attention and everybody hates him, to go on his own TikTok live talking shit on Brooke and Tana's live, on his TikTok live, while they're still on live. It's the battle of the fucking lives, and it's so awkward. It's so uncomfortable. And quite literally, I hate that I had to watch it, but I couldn't look away. It's like a train wreck. I was like peeping through my fingers like, ugh, but I didn't look away. It was like watching a horror movie. And then at one point, he just goes out on Brooke's balcony and like doxes her because he's like, oh yeah, we're right next to the blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bitch, you just doxed her. Oh my God. I hate that man. Anyways, and so I didn't really care, right? I didn't really care because I don't watch Brooke and Tana's podcast. I think they're both whatever, you know? I don't like them, really. I think they're kind of stupid, and I don't think that they have thought-provoking conversation. I used to put their podcast on in the background for like noise, and some of it was kind of funny. You know, it was a good escape of reality because my world is so different than what theirs looks like, yet I'm the same age as them. So it's kind of nice to have on the background. After all the Brooke bullshit, I don't watch them anymore. But then Trisha is like, oh yeah, Jeffrey's coming on my podcast. And I was like, what the fuck? What are we doing? It's like y'all are like begging to have your peace fucking disturbed by this gremlin, this YouTube goblin. The bitch is going to come in your life and fuck it up again. And Trisha Paytas is like in such a good era right now. Like, and I know she's made comments about like, don't worry, like this isn't gonna blah, 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 whatever. And the podcast is already filmed. It just hasn't been released yet. They filmed it last Friday. But like this Just Trish era that she's in right now is so good. It's so positive. She looks like she's loving her life being a mom. Her and Moses are just like, they're freaks and they're made for each other. You know, they match each other's freaks so well. And Oscar, I love him so much. He's like the producer on the show. And like, it's just a good thing that they have going. They removed Ethan from their lives, that little toxic fuck. I hate that guy too. So annoying, yappy, whiny, annoying. And they finally removed him from their lives, and she won't comment on Ethan. She won't talk to Ethan, who's her brother-in-law. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm so sorry. This is kind of like chronically online shit. But Ethan Klein is the host of a podcast called H3H3. And he does it. It's like a production company basically now. They have a big YouTube channel. They're live all the time. They podcast every day. Him and his wife do the podcast a lot. His wife is Moses's sister, which is Trisha Paytas's husband, Moses. So Moses and Trisha are married. Ethan and Ela are married. Ela and Moses are siblings. Trisha and Ethan are in-laws. Y'all still with me? Trisha had a podcast called Frenemies before her and Moses got together. on said podcast, Ethan, Trisha had a massive falling out involving Moses. Moses does not talk to his sister anymore. Ethan publicly talks shit on Moses constantly. And Moses and Trisha don't give Ethan the time of day, which is the energy that I'm loving for her. You know, it's her healing era. And then to invite Jeffree Star into her, mind y'all, her podcast studio is in her house. You are inviting that energy in your home. Hell fucking no. Hell fucking no. I'd be like, A, I wouldn't have him on the podcast, but B, if I did, just for like clicks or whatever, we would be meeting at a mutual location in like, we would rent out a podcast studio for the day. I'm not bringing him in the house where my daughters live. I just feel like he has bad vibes. He just brings bad vibes wherever he is. I'm like, I don't know. The podcast is already recorded. Apparently it went well. I don't know. I'm very interested to see what happens when it comes out. But yeah, Jeffree Star is like on this resurgence tour of like, and I wonder, you know what's so interesting? It's like, who reached out to who? Because if Canceled and Just Trish both had him on, it almost seems like he's like doing like a like weird PR tour back in LA. You know what I mean? Of like trying to get himself to be like thought about again. I don't know, it's just very interesting. Oh my God, you guys. This will be the last thing I talk about. And then I have some write-ins. But okay, so last week, you guys, this is so embarrassing. I don't even want to talk about it. So last week, I had told you guys that I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be for Halloween. You know, I'm either going to be Jeremy Fragrance or like something scary like the Babadook. Okay, well, I wasn't the Babadook, but I was something scary. So if you haven't seen this movie, it's called Goodnight Mommy, and I've recommended it before on this podcast, but it's this German horror film. It's more of a psychological horror. I would not call it a horror. It's more of a psychological thriller. I don't know. Not a thriller. I don't know. Creepy. It's creepy. That's what I would say. Movie about this mom and her two twin boys, and she's like a reporter, or she like works in TV or something, and she had like a facelift done, and then she comes back and the boys are like, that's not our mom, that's not our mom, something's weird, she looks different, she's acting different, whatever. And then there's a huge twist and you're like, this movie rules. But anyways, so I went as the mom post facelift surgery. So I had bandages all around my face. I put on blue contacts like she had, and then I gave myself like black eyes with makeup, and I had bandages all over my face. Okay, I looked scary. And then I was in pajamas because I was like recovering from my plastic surgery. I looked scary. And me and my roommate are going to this party it's a friend of a friend. So I've met this girl one time, but it was at my friend's birthday party. So like I didn't really talk to her that much. It was like we did karaoke. She was really fun, like whatever. So we barely know each other. And me and my roommate get to this party and we're walking in. Mind you, like we don't know anybody going to be here besides my friend and then another friend, her boyfriend, and then one of my friends' friends that we know. Like we've hung out with a couple times, but we're not like really that close with. So those are the only people that we know. We're walking up to this party and immediately we could tell that it was really bright in there. And I don't know if you're familiar with the term homophobic lighting. But basically that means when all of the overhead lights are on and you don't have like any soft lighting on. So there's no lamps on, there's no like, I don't know, like LED, like colorful, like it's just like the overhead sterile lighting. Okay. That's what was on at this party. It's at night, mind you. And we walk up to the front door. It is bright as shit in there. And I'm like, oh God, this is awkward. And we walk in the door and there's like a long hallway before it opens up into like a kitchen, like an open concept kitchen living room. So we're walking down this hallway and we get to the kitchen living room area. And everybody just kind of like gets quiet and stares at me. And I just like wave, and they're so confused. They are so deeply disturbed and confused because I'm looking around. Everybody's in costume. Not a single person is in a like quote scary costume. It's like the classics. We got 2 Dorothys from The Wizard of Oz. You know, we got about 25 people from The Bear in there. We got Thing 1 and Thing 2. We got, you know, the classic miscellaneous people dressed up as animals, you know. And then there was me, a character from a German horror film from 2014. Nobody knew that movie. Not a single person in there had seen the movie. And on top of that, I don't know if some of them knew that it was like a costume. The way they were looking at me, like it was giving, they were seeing something deeply disturbing that they did not want to see. And so we get in and we're like standing like so awkwardly like in the corner around the like island in the kitchen, and I'm just like deeply regretting my costume. I'm like trying not to make eye contact with people because this is what happens. I'll make eye contact with somebody, realize that they were already staring at me, kind of smile, and then they just look down as fast as humanly possible. And they don't smile back at me. You guys, it was so awkward. It was so uncomfortable. I couldn't help but just laugh. Like me and my roommate were dying I don't think I've laughed so much besides like I don't think I've laughed that much in months. In months. I was dying laughing the whole night. I was dying laughing. And on top of this, mind you guys, I'm sober. I don't drink. Former alcoholic. Loving that for me. So I am raw dogging this whole thing. And it was just brutal. It was so brutal. I'm like so happy that I had my little circle of people that I was talking to, and they thought my costume was good. They were like, "Oh my God, like it looks so good, whatever." And they were just being nice. But I just literally was like, also I was sweating so much because the overhead lights were so hot. I had all these bandages around my face. I'm wearing pajama pants, long pajama pants, a long like robe thing. I'm just sweating like crazy. But I made the mistake of wearing a light gray shirt, so I couldn't take this like robe sweater thing off because my back was a different color than it should have been because I was sweating so much. And this one girl who was like in our little group, she was like, "Oh my God, I bet it's not that bad. Like, I'll check for you." I was like, "No, don't. I don't need you to check. I know it's that bad. Like, you don't need to look." She's like, "No, I'm sure." I'm like, "No, seriously, don't." And then me and my roommate went to the bathroom. We were like planning how to leave because we didn't want to be rude because we had only been there for like an hour, but we were just like, this is just like, it was no hate to the party. The party was fun. The setup was impeccable. She made like all of this food. Like it was so well done. It was like an awesome party. It was just really bright, and I just was in the wrong costume. So it was completely on me. It was just my bad. I like the scary part of Halloween. This was not that vibe. You guys should have seen the looks on the men's faces. You want to scare men away? Holy shit, I've unlocked the cheat code. Dress like the mom from Goodnight Mommy at a Halloween party. The way they looked at me with like actual disgust and disdain, and they literally wanted nothing to do with me. They wouldn't make eye contact with me. It was crazy. I've never gotten less attention from men in my life. And it was genuinely awesome. Like it was so awesome. But anyways, so we go to the bathroom and I like take my sweater off to like check my back, drenched. Me and my roommate are dying laughing in the bathroom. We're taking forever. We're like, okay, we got to leave. Like, let's go. And so we get in my car and we drive to Cane's because we were starving. And we're like, let's just get food. Like, let's call it a night. Like, we tried to do something on actual Halloween. We did it. We left the house. We got dressed up. We did it. Like, let's go get some canes. And we're in the drive-thru at Cane's. Mind you, I'm still in costume. And it doesn't look like a costume, you guys. It genuinely looks like somebody who just got out of surgery. Like, one of my friends at the party was saying that, like, I guess her mom had gotten a facelift before, and she was like, holy shit, you look exactly like my mom when she had her facelift. And so I was just dying laughing. And so we're in the line at Cane's. And I have my windows rolled down because at this point, like, I'm just eating it up. Like, I'm scaring people as we're driving. It's really fun. And this car next to us is like this guy and his girlfriend. And he looks at me and then looks over at his girlfriend and tells his girlfriend, and then she looks at me, and I just make the most terrifying face looking at them. And then they both like get like jump scared, and me and my roommate start dying laughing, and then they started dying laughing, and like they were so like, they were just like really good sports about it, because like, I don't know, they could have just been assholes, you know what I mean? Like, they could have just like been rude or like whatever, but the fact that they were like laughing with us was like so funny, because like you just have to laugh at that. Like, I'm so scary looking, and then I go up to the Cane's drive-thru, and I'm trying not to make eye contact with these people because I'm like, it's just their job. Like, I hate, one of my biggest icks about anybody in life is people who like just think it's funny to like fuck with people who work in the service industry. Like, I hate watching videos of like pranks happening in a drive-thru or whatever, and I felt like I was doing that because I was in this costume. And I like apologized. I was like, I'm so sorry for my face. And then one of the workers were like, you're gonna look so bomb, like, once you're healed from your surgery, like, as a joke. And like, it was funny, and so we like all laughed about it. But yeah, that, you know, and that's just part of being a weird girl. Part of being the weird girl is like, no one is going to match your freak. And as unfortunate as that is, sometimes you just have to own it. And I couldn't really own it that night at the party. I felt too awkward, and that's okay too. But you know what? I did it. I put myself out there, and I had a lot of fun doing the makeup. So that's all that really matters. But anyways, for this week, okay, so last week we had a shit ton of people write in after the episode ended, but I'm going to save those for next week. So I'm so sorry if you wrote in for last week and I didn't read it, and I said I'd read it this week, and I'm not reading it this week, because this week instead I had put out on the Girls Club story. Basically, I just wanted to check in with you guys and see how everybody was doing, you know, after the election, and make sure that, you know, we were there for each other and whatever. Because like I said, like, this is a community. I want to make this community. I want to connect people. I want people to feel like they're a part of something, you know, like, we're friends. As parasocial as that is, like, we are friends. If you DM me and we talk, like, I care about you as a person, and I'm so thankful that you're there, and I really want you guys to meet each other. And so that's why I want to do these write-ins at the end of the episode. That's why I love when people participate, because I love giving other people a voice on this platform, because my hopes is that one day we can have some sort of, you know, this thing gets big enough to justify some sort of, like, I don't know, live meetup, or I don't know, group Discord or something, you know, like, I just wanted to turn into that. And so I had reached out to everybody on the Instagram and just asked people to write in any hopeful or kind words, or just anything for the club members to, in this time of just confusion and despair and whatever. And I wanted to read a couple of those before we wrap the episode. Not hopeful / kind, but if they go low, I'm going lower. Time to be unapologetically unbearable. That's what I'm talking about. Like, literally, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm saying. Just do whatever the fuck you want. The world has shown that they don't care about women, you know? They don't care. So stop catering to them. Stop caring if you're not a size 2 or a size 4 or a size 8 or size fucking 16. Who the fuck cares? You know? Stop caring if you didn't shave your legs, or you didn't, I don't know, get your hair done, or your makeup looks fucked. Girl, just live your fucking life. Because at the end of the day, the worst thing that could happen is literally happening. It cannot get much bleaker than this, bitch. It really can't. It really cannot. So at this point, just do whatever the fuck you want. And also, don't ever let anybody silence you. Speak what's on your mind and be unfucking bearable. I love that. I love that. Unapologetically unbearable. I love that. Okay, this one says, a TikTok said, it's their lesson to learn how awful Trump is / will be. Hope MAGA suffers with us. I agree. We all know how bad Trump is. We all know how bad Project 2025 will be. We all know how terrible, the economy is going to be. You thought you couldn't afford a house now? Babe, get ready, We all know. We all know our taxes are going to go up. We all know that rich people will just get richer and we will stay where we are, if not fall a bit lower. We all know that. But they don't. They don't think that. They truly think that this Messiah has just come and shown up and it's going to save the world. And it is going to be a rough reality. And as unfortunate as that is, that's what's going to happen. So I guess since we already know how bad it's going to be, I guess for us it's like, whatever, But I guess it will be kind of nice to relish in the fact that, like, we told you so. Also, the fact that the Supreme Court, the House, and the Senate, I believe, are all now Republican. Oh, I guess the House still remains up for grabs, so here's hoping. But, yeah, we're just fucked. At the end of the day, we're really fucked. And so it will be nice to watch. As unfortunate as it is, the male MAGA voters, nothing really is going to happen to them besides, like, the majority of them are not billionaires, so, like, they will suffer, like, economically from all of this. But it will be kind of rewarding to watch the women just whatever. Unfortunate as it is, though, a lot of the women are old, so, like, all of the Roe v. Wade shit doesn't matter for them. But maybe if they get their right to vote taken away, they'll care. If that happens, like, genuinely, I'm going to nuke everything. If we lose that, what the fuck is there to lose? Oh, you're going to put me in jail? Okay. This country's fucking jail. Oh, I don't have to be around men ever again? Okay. I'm going to buy a nuke. I get put on a watch list. Okay, here's another one. This is just for the time being. How a felon was even able to run for presidency confuses me. Girl, I agree. And how was he able to vote? I know that party hates to see a felon with any rights because they believe in, there's no redemption for people who have gone to jail or prison or whatever and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, this man evaded going to prison by getting elected president of the United States. That is the biggest crazy pull on the Monopoly deck that you could have gotten. He got to avoid it all and become the most powerful man in the country. I don't get it. But yeah, I agree. It's temporary. Unfortunately, it is 4 years. And unfortunately, we really won't see a ton of the ramifications until his presidency is over, at least economically. So that sucks. And then what'll be great is when the next Republican candidate wins, they'll say Trump had the most awesome, or when the next Republican candidate runs again, because Republicans, this isn't Republicans anymore. I think most Republicans, I don't think that most Republicans didn't vote for Trump after seeing the way the people voted, but I do think a lot of Republicans don't like Trump. So maybe I'm not really speaking about Republicans. Maybe I'm speaking about uneducated people. This really came down to an election of education. And unfortunately, most of America is uneducated. And on top of that, it's only going to get worse with education levels because of what Project 2025 has in store with getting rid of the Department of Education, which is in control of FAFSA, I believe, which is the student loan stuff. So meaning that they will get rid of student loans, which will mean that people will not be able to afford to go to college, because unless you can pay outright, you will not be able to go to college. Y'all think I'm being dramatic, but this is what is in the cards. So, yeah. Anyways, I agree with you, girl. It's only temporary. However, I fear that we will be dealing with the ramifications of this for the rest of our lives. As unfortunate as that sounds. Not to be the Debbie Downer on all this, and I really hope that we don't. I truly hope that we don't. But yes, I agree. I don't know how he was able to either. It does not make any sense to me. It's just white privilege. If he was any other race, this would not have happened. And that is even more just like gross, you know? It is like white privilege personified is Donald Trump. Oh my God. And the last write-in that I will say, in the club, we all fam. And I agree with that. As long as the club is the girls' club. Because outside of the girls' club, I do not trust you hoes. Oh my gosh. I love you guys so much. It is 8:30. I got to go edit this thing and get it scheduled to go out on all of the things. But I love you. I'm here for you. If you need anything, reach out. Take some time this weekend to do something that makes you happy. Eat a piece of cake. Watch a movie that you've seen a million times. Create some art or break some plates. Like, I don't know. Do what you have to do. Do something good for yourself. Treat yourself. Do something that makes you happy because you deserve it. And you're worthy of so much. Like, you deserve love. You deserve compassion. You deserve your rights. You deserve everything. So don't ever forget that. And in this club, we definitely all fam. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week's club meeting. Bye.
The Girls Club, 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 the Girls Club. It's my club and I'm a girl, yeah.